Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Alright, second question. I am planning on purchasing a property, a small 1 to 2 bedroom flat. I have enough money saved up, $40,000. I know that I want to live in the flat for 10 or so years. The problem is actually choosing the area correctly. It seems that the flats that I am looking for tend to fall within these two types of areas. I could buy a flat in a town in the United Kingdom. The pros for that would be me having the option to do more social stuff, such as attending more meetups, visiting some jazz clubs, comedy clubs, museums, etc., living closer to the action. If I lived in the same city, I'd be able to have a few drinks during those events, and I wouldn't have to drive. The negative is that I would not feel safe there, and it goes into citing the Muslim population, which I'm not going to go into the details, and general crime in the city, the sounds, problematic parking, and all those are negatives that are general living in the cities. B, I could buy a flat in a smaller town. The price would be similar, but I would be more likely living among people who are more similar than me ethnicity-wise. The pros of that would be the coziness of a small-ish city. Could be about 30,000 instead of 1 million. Nicer areas, generally being safer. Right, smaller towns, the writing on this, have their own character too. The negatives of that would be potential boredom, the need to commute to social events 30 to 40 minutes one way. Personally, I don't feel that it's a deal breaker. But I wonder if that driving doesn't get old, not easily accessed public transportation, thus a car becoming a necessity. Interestingly, the commute to work would likely stay not that different, 25 to 40 minutes by bus if staying in the town versus 40 to 50 minutes by car if I lived outside the city. What I wonder most about is the importance of having a lot of close social clubs, meetup events, etc. to near where you live for the happiness of the person and general quality of life. Do you have any experience in this regard? Maybe having a lot of stuff happen around you as an easily accessible is very important for mental health and happiness of the individual. How important is living closest to the action to young people like me? I'm 28, by the way. It depends. I would not be getting, unless you're committed to it, I would not be buying a flat at your age, unless you absolutely know for a fact you're going to be in that town for 10 years. And you're kind of on the cusp. If you were younger, I'd say, maybe live in the city, get it out of your system, and then go buy out in the burbs. But you're 28, so it's kind of, here's what I would do. I would not buy in the city. I don't know what it's like in the United Kingdom, but you rent in the city. You don't buy in the city. And the reason why is that city has ordinances and laws specific to the municipality that city people are going to vote in. And city people, large metro cities typically vote left. And here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, you really don't own your property. You're in a large homeowners association called the City of Minneapolis, and they stab you. They just jack up taxes all the time. My taxes went up 300%. 7 years I lived in my place in the Twin Cities, and then they pass rules and laws, beforehand you could just say, no, we're not taking Section 8 housing. Now you can't do that. And then there was zoning ordinances and stuff like that. You don't want to. It's like buying property in a micro-communist state, basically, and they really do cut into your property, like what you can do with it. Now, cities also tend to have increasing values because all the young people like you want to go live there, and that's where the action is, blah, blah, blah. But I would not be buying in the city. I would rent. And so for your age, yeah, you got to kind of scratch that itch. As you get older, you'd be like, I don't need to go to the city. Fuck the city. And I don't know what action there is anymore. I remember when there was a good nightclub scene down in the Twin Cities. Now millennials, I don't know if it's the same over in United Kingdom, but there's just no nightclub life anymore. There are nightclubs, but downtown is nowhere near as cool as it used to be. But what I would do is I would rent downtown. Go rent close to work, get a feel for city living, and then really see if you want to buy a property there. You could love it. You could absolutely love it. Who knows? But I would not buy in the city unless everything was going, like you knew you were going to be there for a long time. But what I'm going to predict is by the time you're 30-something, you're gonna get that out of your system. You're going to go where all the action is. You go partying, and you'll live the city life. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. But then you're like, yeah, but I want to buy here. You'll get tired of it. You're like, yeah, I want to get out to where it's quiet. Or maybe not. But yeah, I would take this one a little bit more measured. I would live downtown first before you decide to buy downtown. Rent there for a year at least before you decide you want to buy. And then you'll have a much better idea, like, oh yeah, screw the city, or no, I love the city, I want to rent here. So that's what I would do. All right, questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you all later. Toodles.